Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Hope everything in your world is good. Please let me know in the comments. You know I love hearing from you. And I heard from you a lot yesterday. Thank you for all the responses to the little contest that I had with my friend. I will tell you that I think universally everybody picked option one, which was the thing that I built scratch out of a couple of leftover 1x4s we had laying around. The chair idea was hers, and while it didn't necessarily work out for the trash thing, because I win, and you know the winner gets to keep their design, I sat in it, and so with the two chairs like this, and then the seat, I sat in it, and I was like, this could actually make like an interesting bench if I just extend the centerpiece and put a top on it. So I might actually try that, just for curiosity's sake. That was some knockdown furniture, like kind of cruddy furniture that I think I had picked up when a neighbor threw it away or something. And it's been sitting here for years, so it was a really good idea to try to recycle, and I was really, she did a really good job. She did it all on her own, and I was totally proud of her for that. So I'd like to keep using it, find some way to continue using the wood. But for my design, the 1x4 design that you all picked, yeah, it's not finished. It was a prototype. I didn't even really sand it. It's like I took a piece of 80 grit and just kind of knocked the edges off real quick, so it's really rough sanded. I didn't power sand it or anything. I think my current plan is I'll probably sand it and I'll stain it. I'm going to be using bluish gray. It's a gray. I'm going to be using a gray stain for all the trim work upstairs, which I'm going to start that project hopefully this weekend. Hopefully I'll get some energy to start on it this weekend with Keely here. Keely's here. Finally, haven't seen her in like a week. So she's here tonight, and she'll be here all weekend and through next week. So I'm going to enlist her to help me tomorrow, probably come down here and I've said a million times this place is a disaster. This place is really bad right now because of all of the rush jobs trying to get holiday gifts and stuff ready. This place is horrific. So a whole lot needs to be cleaned up and put away. I really need to come up with some storage solutions soon. So I hopefully will have some good shop projects this year. I haven't done good project videos in a while. I'd like to get back to doing those because I really need drawers and cabinetry and places to put some of this junk that just kind of gets laid about. But so we'll probably stain the trash thing with like a gray stain and then sand it again and kind of knock it off a little bit so that it's kind of not distressed, but I want it to be more subtle than the trim. The trim will be pretty gray. The stain that I've bought, I don't have it down here. I believe it's a Minwax stain, and it is, when you put it on, you got to wipe it off pretty quick. Like it takes the color, the pine takes the color really quickly. And so it's going to be a challenge to do the trim work and get it to look even. But that's the fun of being a woodworker. So it's Friday. That's all the things that have happened this week and things that are happening this weekend. And yesterday, Ignacy from Portal Games, the Polish company that I've done board game work for forever, we were chatting, and he, hadn't talked to him in a little while, and he was asking about New Year and stuff, and talking to him about medication, and I really, I haven't talked to you for a while about my medication, and it's been months now since I've been off of it. If you don't know, I took Lexapro as an antidepressant. It's an SSRI. Took it for almost 4 years, I think. It might have been a little over 4 years. I'm not positive of when I started it, but that's my best guess. And I decided to taper off of it this year. I don't feel like I don't need it anymore in my life. And that feeling is very accurate. In 4 years, the 4 years that I was on the medication, I did not design a single game. I didn't write anything. Articles and stuff, but I didn't do any creative writing, no poetry. I did nothing creative in 4 years. And I knew when when I started the medication, that it was going to really hamper me in a lot of different ways, and I didn't realize how badly it hurt. It hurt my creativity. I tried to do things. Every now and then I would get like, I'm going to try and make a game, but it was more like doing it for work purposes. Like, I'm going to just try to force this out because that's what I do and that's what I like to do, and it just never felt good. So nothing got done for all that time. Here we are, just a few months removed from taking the medication, and I am now bursting with creativity. Like, I have a lot of things that I want to do this year. I might bring one of my games to Kickstarter this year, one of the original giveaway games, which I'm really proud of. I might try to do a little extra to it and bring it to Kickstarter. I'm working on the book idea with my friend Scott, and trying to figure out if I could actually write a book. You know, I'm doing more creative writing than I've ever done. Not ever, but in a very, very, very long time. I write daily now. Not necessarily stories. When I say creative writing, a lot of what I write is like missives and poetry, and not necessarily poetry, but like poetic prose. Like one-page type stuff. So I've been doing a lot more of that lately. I have game ideas generating again, which I hadn't had in a very long time, and I have some drive to actually do something with this stuff. So that's good. The difference this time is, I would say prior to taking the medication, I was pretty manic. The mania episodes when I would, almost bipolar. I'm not going to self-diagnose because that's not who I am, but I would have very intense highs, and those highs were when all of the creative work got done, because I was just so dead laser focused on all of it. And to the point that when I would get that high and I would want to tackle a creative project like that, I would kind of forego everything else in my life. My job would suffer, my family would suffer, because that's all I could think about all the time. And I think now, I feel like I have the creative spark. I have the ideas again. I have desire, but it's not overwhelming. And so my regular life, my family life, and my job performance, none of it is suffering because I have these desires to do these things. It just means that when I do take the time to sit down and do them, I'm really enjoying myself. But I also don't feel like I have to do it, which is the drive that I had prior to taking the medication. So I feel like maybe it's still too early to say how I'm affected post-medication versus pre-medication. But what I can say is it's been a couple of months, and I'm pretty leveled off, and I feel wonderful. I feel great. I feel better than I have for a very, very, very long time. So I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for everybody in my life right now who is really helping me make it better. And that's, it feels good to have a support group, and you guys are a huge part of that. This camera that I stare at every day is a huge part of that. This has been almost 3 years of really good daily therapy. Like, I don't know if I could get the therapy that I get in front of this camera if I was to pay for it. So I appreciate you coming back. I appreciate you checking up on me and taking part in silly, voting games that that I ask you to take a part in, or listening to my reviews, or listening to me just ramble about my life. It really does mean the world to me, and I can't thank you enough. So I'm just going to wrap it there. Thank you for being here. As always, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Thank you for being amazing, amazing friends, and coming back and making me a part of your day. It means the world to me. It's Friday, so that means I will see you again on Monday.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from dovermuseum.co.uk. How high are the White Cliffs of Dover? The famous White Cliffs of Dover stand guard at the gateway to England. Millions pass through Dover each year on their journey to or from the continent. Some places are over 300 feet high. The White Cliffs are a symbol of the United Kingdom and a reassuring sight to travelers. I've always wondered that, because you can't really grab scale off of just a still image or even a moving image. It's very difficult. 300 feet is... wow.